Hello, Gearspace. This is Steve from 1010 Music. I'm going to take you on a short tour of the Nanobox Fireball and Nanobox Lemon Drop. They are both incredibly similar. They have more in common, really, than they have different. They are both 3 oscillator synths, where you get either 2 wavetable oscillators and a sub-osc for a little thickening, or here you get 2 granular oscillators and that same sub-oscillator. They both feature an XY pad for real-time modulation, which is really great. You can use the knobs to set the home position, and then you can modulate from that position. Both of them support multi-touch for that XY pad as well. And they both have this great keyboard. And you can do some sound design right in the box with a set of headphones and a USB battery without plugging any controller in at all. In terms of how they're similar, if you look at across the bottom row, both of them feature 2 filters, filter 1, filter 2, and these filters can be run in parallel to one another or in serial. You can get some really interesting effects. Both of these are multi-mode filters, and both support touchscreen for both resonance and cutoff, or center frequency, depending on which type of filter you have. They both also feature 2 envelopes, where envelope number 1 is really your primary output. That's what's going to be the master output on your sound. But envelope 2, though it starts at the same place, can have a different shape and can modulate almost anything in the box. Cutoff, delay time, those kinds of things. They both also feature two LFOs, and those can be used for modulation, again, almost anywhere in the box. And they also have this really cool bipolar sequencer. It's an octave in either direction, 1 up and 1 down, so a total of a 2-octave spread. You can quantize the pitch adjustments. If you turn quantize on, then you're going to be moving this in semitones. If you turn that off, you will be a little bit more granular, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, I don't know. They both have the same effect stack. So in effect stack 1, we have a choice of flanger, chorus, and phaser. And in effects 2, you have an option of delay or reverb. You can mix and match those. They both also now, in more recent update, they feature a sampler or recorder. So you can plug in audio from the outside world and you can sample into it, or you can choose to resample whatever's going on inside of the box. And those are stored to the micro SD card that's on the back, and those are available to load immediately as soon as you make them. If you look at the back panel, I'll just put this one up a little bit here, they're both incredibly similar. So they both feature a stereo line out, and then a stereo line in that can be used as mono or stereo. You can adjust that in software. They both will accept analog clock, so you can sync it from your Eurorack system. And they both have a MIDI in and a MIDI through, or MIDI out. And also a micro SD card there on the far left, which is where we store our patches, update the firmware. You can add your own custom wavetables here, or your own custom samples to the granular synth, kind of create your own stuff. They both, again, feature this awesome XY pad, and they both feature this keyboard. The keyboard can be set to any root note, any scale that you want, almost any scale that you want. The XY pad is also adjustable and editable from these knobs from the dashboard. So you don't have to go back into here. The knobs will adjust your home position. You can always go back and modulate. You can also set that X and Y mod to a fixed CC so that it's global, and you can send it at any time in any patch. In terms of the effects and the line input, you can use both of these boxes as a live effects unit. So you can plug anything into the input and they will tap directly into the effect stack. So you can add the chorus or the flanger or the delay. The Lemon Drop, though, gives you this little added bonus of you can also granulate live input. And when you do that, if you set up a oscillator to do that, let's see if I can... Then what you're looking at ultimately is a 30-second rolling buffer. and you can pick the point in that buffer where you want to play from. You can adjust all of the normal granular controls like window and density and those sorts of things. One thing I will tell you that's really awesome and unique about, give away some of our secrets here. We have a granular that has an incredible piano in it. Typically, when people think of granular synthesis, you think textures and pads and soundscapes, and it's amazing for that. But we wanted to go a little bit further, and we wanted our users to be able to play rhythmic parts or whatever with these. So in order to do that, we've added a couple of really interesting things. One of them, which I don't think I've seen anywhere else, is called Preserve Attack. Now, if you watch that closely, you'll see that, let me just change something real quick here to show you. There you go. So if I say the play position, I want you to grab the grains from the middle of the file. But if you look at the very left of that, you also see it's grabbing something at the beginning. What Preserve Attack does is it captures wherever the grain selection is, and also the very first transient from the file. It smashes them together so that if you wanted to play things that were rhythmic with an actual attack on them, you can do that. And it makes it really easy. And to take that a little bit further, you can come up to beat sync. If you turn beat sync on, you can choose the musical interval here that you want to hear your grains popping back at you. And one of the fun things that I like to do, I'm a drummer, I like to set up the same sample in both oscillators with mostly the same controls, but just change the interval on the beat sync. And you get some really interesting polyrhythms, and you can do some really cool sound design and stuff. And they both sound fabulous, not just because I work here. I use them in my personal life. I love them very much. They're both battery powered over USB-C, and of course store everything to that micro SD card on the back. They're pretty lightweight. The touchscreen is really responsive. We've had a lot of really great feedback about that. Yeah, thanks for watching.